Hello, this is an update on from my first video, and it's really going to try and set the scene of what I've been up to. I mentioned last time my apprehension of using social media. I've overcome that now. Use a lot of Facebook, an enormous amount of Facebook, something which I never thought or ever imagined I would ever have done. And the same with Twitter. I keep on tweeting. It keeps me busy day in, day out. But also I blog. I'm a blogger, gwynorojones.blogspot.co.uk, and I've done about 50 posts at the moment. Currently I'm posting about Europe because that is the topic of the day. It's the topic of this week, and effectively that's what I've been doing for the last week. I went to the EEC office in Cardiff, then a meeting of the European Movement in London, the annual general meeting of the European Movement. From there, I then went to the House of Commons, met with some old friends, and the reason why we were meeting was a bit sad really, because it was to do with a memorial service for Charles Kennedy. Great man. I knew Charles well. I knew Charles when he was a young man. I thought I was young when I met him, but I was old because Charles was in his very early 20s when he became a Member of Parliament. A tremendous human being. Never heard him say a bad word about anyone, and we all know he had some troubled times in his last few years, but a remarkable man of good standing, and I cared for him very much. That is why I turned up at his memorial service. And then, hard-working as he seemed to be to me, because I had a quiet time up until recent months, I spoke at the British World Marketing Board annual conference on in or out of Europe. And this was in competition and in debate with Stuart Agnew, a UKIP member of the European Parliament. On balance, I think I did very well and won the vote, which on a show of hands was something like 60 votes to 40. It is going to be the biggest decision the people of this country will have to make in my lifetime. There's nothing more important than deciding at the moment, are we to stay in or to leave? Now, we know what the scene is at the moment. We know where we are. We know how we fit in to the European project. Everything's not perfect about it. I wish it was far more democratic. I wish it had far fewer regulations than it has, that we had greater freedom, and that we don't need to be united in everything within the Union. It was never meant to be like that. You know, I was part of the campaign in the referendum of 1975 as to whether we should join when Harold Wilson was Prime Minister. It never was envisaged that we would have this ideal scene where everything would be the same, that we have to move away from that. But that is a different issue from walking away. Changing, yes. Walking away, certainly not. Walking away to where? I asked my UKIP colleague at the conference, what of the future? What's going to happen to industry in Wales? What's going to happen to the agricultural industry when it loses the vast amount of support, the necessary support that it gets? Because all sorts of reports indicate that without that support, the farming industry in areas like Mid Wales, the Highland areas, will face difficulties. He couldn't answer. It is a shot in the dark. It is a road to uncertainty. And there is no way back. It's not like leaving a golf club. It's not like leaving a political party and changing your mind and going back afterwards. This is for real. It's a decision that will affect us all, and it's a decision that we must pay a lot of attention to. It is easy to concentrate on the bad side. What is vital is sorting out how will we cope outside the market of 500 million, where half our exports go to Europe, where the President of America, the President of China, the Prime Minister of India, they're all advising us to stay inside. And then there are people within this country, UKIP in particular, supported by 50, 60, 70 Conservative members of Parliament, who say, no, we'll be all right. We'll be all right on our own. This is a global world we live in. The village, it's a village by now, and therefore we must be part of it, and we cannot walk away from it. Now, in the middle of all this activity, I'm still trying to write a book about my life and times. Started very well. I've written about 20, 30, if not more, 1,000 words by now. But the blogging has taken over. And that is a problem. I have to try and marry the two, writing the book and keep on blogging in the week. As if that isn't enough, there's the Welsh Liberal Democrats conference coming up this weekend, and I'm really looking forward to going to that and hopefully be speaking in it, because the reason why the Liberal Democrats are important to me is I was there at the beginning in 1981 when we set up the SDP with a gang of four, Roy Jenkins, Shirley Williams, David Owen and Bill Rogers. And it matters to me that the party not just survives after what's happened after the general election, but also comes back again into mainstream Welsh and British politics. Also, I'll be thinking of what to say next week, what to plan, new ideas. That is the nature of the beast I am, that I'm always thinking of the future and what to do and what to say and what to plan. That's it for now. If you like the channel, please press the button, or if you wish to subscribe, you're quite welcome to do that as well. See you next week.